United People's TV here with a live match reaction for you after Man United's first pre-season game, Jose Mourinho's first game in charge, 2-0 win over Wigan Athletic. Let's be honest, it was a walk in the park, and that's what you expect to see Man United against Wigan. To kick things off, it was 0-0 at half-time. That's a very Louis van Gaal score, but it wasn't a Louis van Gaal style of play. From the first minute, you saw what Henrik Mkhitaryan was all about as a player. You know, he looked like a real number 10. He had the ball at his feet. He wanted to run at defenders. He had the confidence to take it past defenders, and he looked very, very good in that number 10 role. You had Memphis Depay looking a little bit shaky on the left. It was great to see Luke Shaw back. Eric Bailey, I think, had a very assured and strong debut. Let me know in the comments below how you think he played. The breakthrough came in the second half when a ridiculous clearance from Jaskalainen, intercepted by Mata. He squared it. Will Keane, 1-0. Very comfortable at this point. And then it got even more comfortable after Andreas Pereira lashed one home into the top corner. Great finish from Pereira, a player who, again, was frozen out by Louis van Gaal. What's going to happen for him this season? Main talking points here, quite obvious. I'm going to start with my favourite one here. Luke Shaw is back. He was out for over 300 days with that horror injury that he suffered away at PSV Eindhoven. And it was good. Nice 45 minutes for him. Didn't look incredible, but you saw his charges forward, you know, his runs with the ball. That's what you want to see from Luke Shaw. Memphis Depay was a little bit off in front of him. Sort of a typical Memphis Depay performance, what we sort of kind of getting used to by seeing from Memphis. But I think this season is going to be a bit different for him. It's his second season at Man United, and he knows that he's got to change things. Then you got Henrik Mkhitaryan, who I've already talked about. He was my man of the match. He just looked so good. And yes, it's Wigan, but you can understand a player's style of play. Doesn't matter who they're playing. And you saw that from Mkhitaryan today. We had Rooney in that number 10 role. He'd always stop, look around, try and find a pass. He doesn't really take it upon himself to run forward anymore. That's not Rooney's game. That's what a number 10 should do. That's what Mkhitaryan did. And, you know, if players had their shooting boots on, he would have got 1 or maybe 2 assists as well. He was guilty of missing a chance himself, but it's the preseason. We're not going to look at anything like this. We just want to see how players are playing. And you saw it from the overall style of Man United. Set up in a 4-2-3-1, very typical of Mourinho. We had Carrick and Herrera as our 2 midfielders. Carrick sat deeper. Herrera played very, very well. I think Herrera deserves some credit today, and so did Daley Blind. Very interesting to see Blind being used as a defender because we didn't know what sort of position Blind would be used in. Bailey, very strong, very assured. Mourinho said before the game that there were question marks over Bailey in the fact that he doesn't speak English, and that's going to make it more difficult for him. It didn't look very difficult for him today. And it wasn't very difficult. Wigan didn't offer much going forward. Will Griggs was not on fire, just like he wasn't in the Euros. And overall, you've got to be happy with that as a starting point for Mourinho. Very comfortable 2-0 win. All the players came on. Pereira looked excellent when he came on. Herrera looked good. Mkhitaryan looked brilliant. Bailey looked strong. Shaw looked good. Let me know in the comments below if I've missed anybody I'm talking about here. But overall, you've got to be happy with that as a starting point. And it means that we can now look towards this China tour. We've got games against Borussia Dortmund and Manchester City before we travel to Sweden for a game against Galatasaray, likely to be Ibrahimovic's debut. Then we've got Everton, Rooney's testimonial at Old Trafford. Then we've got the Community Shield. And then it all kicks off away to Bournemouth. Let me know in the comments below what your overall thoughts of that game was. Jose Mourinho's first game in charge. Good to see him on the touchline. Louis van Gaal wasn't there much, was he? And I know that annoyed a lot of people. But as I said, drop a like on the video as always. Subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. And we'll see you soon. It's a nice way to start the preseason. Take it easy, Reds.